Beautiful. So finally, I'm able to actually film a testimonial here with Vanessa. I've been waiting for this day for a while. I was really excited that we can actually do this now. Basically, me and Vanessa have been working together for nearly 3 months, and yeah, we've seen some really crazy improvements. So yeah, Vanessa, if you just want to kind of go through like what's your niche and what's your service, and then we can dive into some other stuff.
So basically, I work with basically home improvement window companies,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's my niche. What was the other question?
And service.
Service, and I basically help them with lead generation, Facebook ads, just helping them getting more leads.
Beautiful. So when we started working together, it was like early April. How much were you doing monthly revenue in US dollars?
So so before we're starting working together, the previous month, I was making like 2K.
Hmm.
And then after we worked together, just like as you saw, a massive improvement
Mm.
in terms like straight away, just after just one, two calls, I was already getting sales. And then I just had a big jump in
Hmm.
April. And then in May, I made a 8K in US dollars, which was like unbelievable. I
Hmm.
wasn't like expecting that at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like was kind of random how I found Louis.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like been one of the best things that I did, to be honest.
And that is actually, something that I'm really proud to hear and just like really excited because I know we've got like, we've made a lot of progress, but I think we can take this really, really far. So that's amazing. So let's talk about like actually how you get appointments. I think it'd be interesting for people to know like how well this sales process works with actually how you get appointments. So what do you do right now to get appointments with your window companies?
To get them appointments or for
No,
me.
for you to get your own appointments.
So I run ads
Hmm.
because I thought that's the easiest way to get leads.
Hmm.
And to be honest, like in the beginning of the month, I wasn't making that much money, but I was spending money on ads. I was actually losing money on ads, and I wasn't making that much money,
Mm.
not at all. And I wasn't even able to close like clients on a free trial.
Mm.
Just that well, what I was doing in the beginning. So I had lost hope that because I just thought, oh, I'm not good at sales. So yeah, I was kind of unmotivated. I was
Mhm.
even thinking about getting like a partner, but yeah, I mean, it was just something that I didn't know I actually needed to that I could get good at, to be
Mm.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting because like, we always speak about it a lot. They're like sales is just a process driven skill like asset that you can have, right? Like it really is something that you can just get better on. And we do 2 calls a week, right? We do hour and a half calls twice a week, and we do sales call reviews, and we've just like slowly worked through teaching different parts of the process. And I mean, I got to give you a lot of props as well. I know this is obviously talking about the improvements, but you've put in a lot of work and you've actually really grinded it out. And I've been extremely impressed with what you've done over the last couple of months. Like really, really impressed. But you kind of mentioned like that you were struggling to close free trials before. So like what do you think you were struggling with like the most on the sales calls before we actually started?
Basically, the discovery was a really
Mhm.
big problem for me because I was just getting surface level answers and I wasn't able to really get deep into why is it that they're looking to get more leads,
Yeah.
just try to understand like what's the reason, the true reason that they want to get leads.
Yeah.
And I was always getting those type of answers as I wasn't making a good job making them see the value of the service. And
Mm.
so I would just get to the end of the call, and then they would say they would think about it, and then I would just never see them again, basically.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So for you, like, was the discovery stuff that we did the biggest help, or has there been anything else that's really helped you, like with the sales call specifically?
I mean, so many things, like
Mm.
so many details that I didn't even know were important.
Mm.
Like holding the frame, like
Mm.
discovery was the first thing. Like as soon as we improved the discovery, it's just I just started to get more sales. And
Mm.
then it was objection handling, how
Mm.
to actually handle objections,
Mm.
right? There's all of these parts that are important, and also authority and making sure that you also don't let them take control of
Mhm.
the call, like aspects like this, which I was lacking as well, letting them take control of the call. But now that barely happens, to be
Mm.
honest.
No, that's amazing. I mean, and like I said, like you're totally right. It barely happens now. You're just a completely different person on the calls. I think it's interesting because I actually don't really know this exactly. Like, you know how you said you were doing 2K USD roughly before we started, right? How long were you actually running the agency for, like, properly before we actually started working together?
So since October, that's when I got like my first proper client.
Okay. So it
So
was like what, 6 months before we started working together, you were kind of sitting around the 1 to 2K mark, or
no, I wasn't making because I was offering free trials, I wasn't really making any money.
okay.
So for the first I think 2 months, I wasn't really making anything. Then
Mhm.
January, February was when I started making some money, but
Yeah.
still it wasn't that consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, the clients that I got was based off the free trial, but even with the free
Yeah.
trials, some of them wouldn't stay. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, it's like that classic kind of like new agency owner problem where you want to take money, but you're not so sure about like a how to do it or if you can deliver a service. So you do free trials. And then, as we found together, like business owners start to kind of like take advantage of you and
Yeah.
they want you to do, yeah,
Yeah.
we've dealt with
Even
that
when
a
you get
lot.
them good results, yeah.
Yeah, even when you get them good results, they still don't
Yeah.
want to pay, which is
Yeah.
why like taking payment on the call is so important. No, that's awesome. And look, I mean, I don't want to make this too long, but I think it's been really, really helpful. Has there been any like mindset shift for you or like personal change from like working together? I'm actually curious because I actually don't know this.
Uh, just so many, cause for me, yeah, like you weren't just like for sales, it
Hmm.
was just for business as well. Like whenever before this, I just used to feel like such a big pressure on me, and having starting to get clients. I mean, it's good, but then it also comes with a lot of pressure in a
Mm,
business and everything.
mm,
And like having you like someone that I can also count on
mm.
if I'm having a problem with something, like you help me out. So you're not just like a sales coach, you're more than that, much more
Yeah.
than that. And it's really helpful for me to know that there's someone that I can just like if I ever need anything, it's like he's
Yeah.
there. Like,
Yeah, no,
and
that's great because that's I think it's funny, like in the beginning you weren't really messaging me much on WhatsApp and I was like always on us calls, like you can talk to me on WhatsApp, like I'm always here. And now we're at the point like as soon as she gets a problem, she's like calling me on the phone. I'm like, all right, let's fucking deal with this now. Like, how
yeah,
do
yeah,
we figure this
yeah,
out? Like
yeah,
shitty clients or whatever it is. I mean, business is a lonely journey, right?
yeah,
I'm a solo entrepreneur now. I've been a sales guy for a long time. That's a solo gig in itself. And I always kind of hated that aspect of things that I did, just being by myself, living in a new country, not having that many friends, not speaking the language. So I've always wanted to like, offer that. And I'm really glad that that's how it kind of developed in our relationship, that I could just be
yeah.
there to help you with other things, because I think that's really important.
Yeah, it is. And also not only that, but also like just improving sales has just given me a lot of confidence
Yeah.
in terms of like being able to talk with people because it's people from the UK, they're business owners, they're older, so it's always that was always like that scary thing.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I feel like people don't know how much they need to learn sales, to be honest.
Yes,
They
I agree. I mean, if you can sell something, you're never gonna go hungry, I think is the kind of analogy. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many things that I would have never learned like on my own. Like you read books and I thought, oh yeah, like you understand it, but then you actually learn like the process and everything, and what you get from the books is just nothing like
It's
compared
it's
to
it's super general, right? And I think one thing we should add, like, it's really cool that you said you feel more confident in your life. I mean, I as well, right? Like closing for 2 years, you speak to every single person imaginable. You ask them super personal questions, and I'm doing it in my first language. Vanessa's actually from Portugal as well, so like older
yeah,
older prospects, grumpy as shit,
yeah,
second language. She's a lot younger than them. They're always
yeah,
fucking dumb men that are like kind of trying to be mean, but.
yeah,
He's an absolute killer now. And
yeah,
going for the reframing fear with like a 50-year-old guy. Every time I watch your calls, I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, I can't believe you're like that you're actually sticking to it and doing it and just being ruthless. And like, I think, yeah, we've got a lot of upside in the next few months, which is great.
yeah. Which also like was a bit like scary in the beginning when I first got the scripts and everything. just having to say like those things.
Yeah.
But then you get used to it and you get more confident in
Yeah.
asking those like more personal
Yeah.
questions as well.
Yeah. No, this is amazing. Vanessa, thank you so much for doing this. Obviously, I really appreciate it. And, we're going to actually jump into some more objection handling training right now. But look, just for anyone who's watching this, like she said, sales is a very, very important skill, right?
Mm.
Use my YouTube stuff, do as much as you can with that, right? But if you do need extra help and one-on-one support, like I'm always here to do that. And, after leaving Easy Grow, I really just want to help more people succeed and have more of a responsibility in it. So it's really nice for me to hear all of this as well, because we haven't really spoken about this before. So I'm pretty grateful that I actually get to take a bit of a responsibility in your success and, actually make sure that you make more money. Funnily enough, Vanessa actually made more money than me last month, right? Because I'm still in the very early days of my business. Don't worry, I'll get there. But that's what I want. I want you guys to succeed because at the end of the day, like it's not so much about the money, right? It's about what
Yeah.
we do for others. So thank you very much, guys. If you enjoyed that, obviously my link's in the description. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.